Hi, my name is Dee Cowell, and today I'm going to be working with the Derwent Graphitone, and it comes in 4 different tonal ranges. The first one is a light 2B graphitone. The second one is 4B, which is a medium. The third one is 6B, which is dark, and then you've got very, very dark, which is 8B. And of course, this is solid graphite, but what is unique about this product is that it's water soluble. So I'll have a go at showing you how to use it. You can peel off the label like this, and it comes off in pieces, which is quite handy. So you have a nice part of the graphitone to work with, and you can lay in large areas of tone like this, using the entire width of the graphitone. And then, of course, you can use it on its tip to do all sorts of lines for drawing with. So very, very handy to take out sketching. And of course, you've got 4 different tones. And what I use with it is a water brush. And these water brushes are terrific to take out sketching, because you just lift up the color and take it straight into washes like this. And of course, once the paper is wet and you work back into it, you get some rather terrific details as the product releases the tone. So really a very, very versatile product to work with. Using it on its side dry, using it on its side wet, working on a wet surface or working on a dry surface. And it's all about making different marks and creating textures on your drawings. And this is a wonderful product to use for that. Go back in and do detail on top of it. And of course, wetting it with the water brush and dissolving the color and pulling the color through. So what I'm going to do is a sketch for you, taking it from the beginning right the way through so that you can see how to work with the product. And we'll start off with a bit of a drawing and then start working the tones in. So immediately I'm going to just have a go at doing the face. And of course, using a bit of proportion and a little bit of measuring. I'm working quite lightly. I'm working with the 6B. And at this stage, just allocating the space for this little animal to fit in, making sure that I get the measurements roughly in line to get the proportions right, like that. And of course, what is lovely about this, if you make any mistakes, you can just lift it off and dab it off, and or cover it up with more tone. So working into the chest area now. And you can imagine being on safari and sketching away. And it's much easier to work from photographs, of course, but there's something lovely about just taking a product out with you when you go sketching, and this is the ideal product to take. It allows you to sketch, and it allows you to work as if you're in watercolor, and just work the tones. So here we go. Laying it on its side, I'm just blocking in large areas of tone. And I'm going to take it down here and do the first pass of laying in some tone. Very light tonal wash, like this. And then once I've got that down, I can come back in and work around. And of course then pick up the water brush and start just moving the product around so that I get lights and darks. Very, very forgiving product to work with, so ideal for beginners. Working the ears. This side's in light, the other side's very, very dark. And just laying a wash down. I'll let that dry while I lay in more colour down this side. Using the side of the graphitone, pressing quite hard, getting up onto the tip. So using it on its tip for the detail, and then coming back in. And just use your negative space to draw. So once I've got the trunk in, I can just look at where these legs are coming. Sketch across like that, knowing full well that I'll come back in and correct that later. So this whole area is in the dark. I'm going to use it sideways on just to block in, like that. This side of the leg's got a lot of dark tone on it. Their knees are very, very low, so you need to observe that. Now, I'm going to cut this ear back a little because my first sketch, I put it on far too wide. And the way that I remove any sketch marks that I don't want, I just take the water brush and dissolve the paint and then just lift it off, like that. So it is very, very forgiving. So wonderful for sketching outdoors. And I've got the air in better proportion. And now using the graphitone sideways on, I'm just going to put these folds in. They use their ears to flap an awful lot, not only to fan them and keep them cool, but also as a means of communication. I'm going to go in and do the eye. And this time I'm just going to wet the graphitone like that. And of course that releases a tremendous amount of the tone. And now I can put the darkest darks in, now that it's nice and wet. Use it sideways on and get the very dark areas in. Get it back up onto the tip of the graphitone. Of course, I'm looking forward to doing the trunk and all these wonderful rings that are on the trunk. And this is the time to go in and do that. And just check that I've got the areas dark enough where they need to be, such as here. And once again, using the water brush. I mean, really, just taking a graphitone out with you and a water brush, you've got enough equipment to sketch anywhere. A little bit of a tail there. And that should do. Here's my elephant done in graphitone.